started, but I felt like this
Right. Word, right? Then how can you do this? It's an abomination.
First Presbyterian Church of Ann Arbor. I'm here with Barb, who's a glutton for punishment because she went through this a few years ago. Barb, what do you think the second time around?
Oh, it's great. We're so glad to have John back here again. The situations are so realistic, and this is exactly what we needed. And it's important to do this training regularly so that we think about these things and know how to react in an emergency.
Late, someone told me to have a seat here, and you'd be here in 5 minutes to talk to me. It's been over 30. What are you guys back in the back room counting your money that you take in?
I'm really sorry that it took us so long.
Skimming a little bit of the money?
Yeah.
You guys do that?
We're here at First Presbyterian Ann Arbor. I'm here with Melissa now. I remember her from a few years ago, but I don't think it's because you went through it. I think I just remember meeting you.
I did not get
so
to go
what
through the training.
what do you think now?
I'm really glad to go through the training today. I think some of the key concepts are really going to stay with me, particularly ACE.
Okay.
And being so much more mindful of my body language. And also, like, I'm not a person that smiles all that much, to be honest. I'm an introvert. And so just that, and I'm a therapist by training as well. So remembering that to come into the room, body language, a smile. And I learned so much from one of your demonstrators about, ask the name of the person that you're, use the name. And I was so, triggered initially that I didn't think to do that. But I just think that the material, learning these concepts and being able to try them out in these scenarios with your colleagues, building a team with your colleagues, is really central.
Did you have any preconceived notions of what this was going to be at? I mean, you heard obviously.
I was afraid.
Oh, were you?
I knew that there was going to be yelling in these scenarios, that there would be anxiety, and I would probably get flustered. So I kind of tried to lower my blood pressure before I came in. But I find that just like anything, as a therapist, we had to do training with people watching us. You have to do it. You have to do it to begin to think about it. And I think for our congregation and particularly for our volunteers who are here today, again, this is essential to have some skill that's being taught that we're beginning to work with. And I think we'll need to take this to the next level and do more of these trainings for our members to really understand how they can de-escalate certain
The last time we
situations.
were here, I think we worked with volunteers. So this today is more staff and admin, correct? Okay.
Right. It's our pastoral and program staff, and then we chose 4 or 5 volunteers who are ushers or that work in the Welcome Center. We've encountered, we've had to de-escalate situations this year that mostly have been by phone. We had one in person. And so those scenarios have been on my mind today as I'm thinking back to what we did wrong, and I did a lot of things wrong in previous situations. So it's very helpful to then put those in the proper context. So I think this is good for churches to do.
Well,
and to take this
outstanding.
We could do something to help.
I'm going to ask one time nice for you guys to leave.
Sir, we need
No, there's no buts about it. I want to be left alone.
We're not going to bother you. We're not going to.
You're bothering me right now.
First Presbyterian of Ann Arbor, Dave. Dave, what do you think?
Well, I think the idea of responding gently to folk rather than reacting in an extreme way is really important. Not only is it a sign of our faith, but it's also effective. And so finding ways to de-escalate these kinds of situations can avoid dehumanizing the other and dehumanizing yourself. So it's really helpful to remember the basic soft skills that can defuse those situations. And it's also good to realize all the mistakes that you made.
Did you have any preconceived notions of what the training was going to be like, and any idea? Because we were here a couple of years ago. You weren't here at the time.
I wasn't here then.
Yeah.
No real preconceived notion, but it's always interesting to hear what people's understanding of de-escalation is.
Yes.
And in this hyper kind of partisan time in our lives, learning how to disagree well and to honor the humanity of the other is absolutely critical to what we do.
Absolutely.
So no real preconceived notions, but some hopes that we would learn another way of dealing with it.
So along those lines, what do you think of the scenarios, the realism and the applicability of a real life situation?
Yeah, I think they're absolutely spot on. I mean, you're going to deal with people in all kinds of different situations, bringing all kinds of different real human situations into your building.
Yeah.
And so how do you respond in a way that protects your safety and honors them?
And
so,
ministry-minded.
Yeah, ministry-minded.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you, Dave.
And everywhere I go, there's somebody from this church, and I don't understand why you're following me around. if somebody could stop. You know, is there somebody in your security team that I can talk to? Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes, sir.
Is there somebody I can talk to? Please, I need to talk to somebody so that they will stop